6th grade math, chapter 10 review, part 5. Number 18. Let's do some more with faces, edges, and vertices. Okay, this shape is called a triangular prism. Prisms have two bases that are parallel to each other and congruent to each other. The two bases are right there. They are triangles that are congruent and parallel. And then they are joined by rectangles. Here's a rectangle, then there's one in the back here, and then there's one on the bottom. Okay? So it is a triangular prism. The first question is how many faces? With a prism, I would count the base and the other base. And then however many sides that base has, that's how many more faces there are going to be. So we've got two bases and then three rectangles that join those two bases. So that makes 5 faces altogether. The next question is edges. Remember, edges are the lines, including the dashed lines. It's where two faces come together. So I like to go around the base. We've got 3 there. And then this other base, we've got 3 more. That makes 6. And then we've got 3 joining the bases. That makes 9 edges. And then the sharp corners, those are the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 19. This shape is a pyramid, which it would have been nice if they'd have turned it the other way, but they didn't. Looks to me like it's maybe a square pyramid, that's its base. And then it has triangular faces that join then at a point, okay? And pyramids are named for their bases, so assuming that this is a square, then that would be a square pyramid. The question again is how many faces, edges, and vertices. So the faces, I would start with the base, which has 4 sides. So on a pyramid, you got your base plus your 4 triangles that are coming up from there, which would be 5 faces then. Then edges are basically the lines, but again, I'd start with the base. We've got 4 lines there, and then there will be 4 more, bringing the pyramid to its point. So there are 8 edges, and then the vertices are the sharp points where 3 or more faces or edges come together. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 around the base, and then with the pyramid, there's just 1 more at the top. Makes 5. These 3 shapes that we just looked at, they are referred to as being polyhedrons because they are 3-dimensional figures with only flat surfaces. You see this cylinder coming up down here. That's not considered a polyhedron because it has a curved surface. But the ones with only flat surfaces are all called polyhedrons. This section shouldn't be too hard. It simply says to tell whether each figure is a polyhedron or not and name the solid. So number 20, it has all flat surfaces. So yes, it is a polyhedron. And then when you go to name the figure, this is a prism because we've got a base here and an identical base here, and they are parallel to each other and joined by rectangles. So that is a prism, but we need to be a little more specific than that. Prisms are named by their bases. So these 2 parallel faces here, they are in the shape of a pentagon. So that would be a pentagonal prism. I'm hoping that you recognize number 21 as being a cylinder. And because it has curved surfaces, there are circles involved in it. This is not a polyhedron. Number 22, I hope that you recognize it as being a pyramid. Pyramids are named for their bases, and we don't really know if this is a rectangle or a square, but it looks like a square to me. So we're going to call that a square pyramid. And there are no rounded surfaces, all the faces are flat, and so this is a polyhedron.